engage in this semester, next semester, are some of these activities, assignments, projects, including these Wednesday workshops. Aligning your study abroad, study away to your future. So we've had a couple of workshops where we highlighted study abroad and study away opportunities. And the end of the last one this month, and on the 30th, we're going to have it's our roundtable. We're going to have one of our speakers talk more about study abroad, study away. Serving through your strengths, working with the community, doing some civic engagement, community service. And so our next community service project is the Bison Give Back program. We're working with Rankin Chapel, doing the toy drive for children of incarcerated parents. And then developing your engagement strategy internally and externally. We're really focusing on our alumni engagement. So we're creating an alumni network, and we're going to really lean in on our alumni to engage with you all and create a mentorship program. Right, the goals of this workshop are to assist you in developing and creating your academic story here at Howard, using this professional development practice of creating ePortfolios, in visualizing and assessing your learning and fostering your agency by empowering you to be able to select the evidence of your learning that you want to promote, and in identifying the value in your academic, professional, and personal experiences through reflective writing. So have you all heard of an ePortfolio? Any of you familiar? Yes, two, okay. So maybe if you've done one before, if you haven't done one on this level of ePortfolio is going to be different than maybe if you've done it, in high school, but also professionally, when you work in the professional arena, they do ePortfolios as well. Professionals do as well. That's just a whole nother level of ePortfolio. But student ePortfolios are now typically web-based, student-generated, and they are collections of your learning artifacts and related reflections that you write about your experiences, focused on learning and growth. So it is a collection of experiences that you have while you're in college, and it could be something community service related. It could be something a project that you worked on in a course. It could be an experiment that you worked on. And then it includes reflection. So I want to make sure we go through all of the things that are included in an ePortfolio. I'm going to show you some examples. Benefits to students. ePortfolios can help you develop new or deeper learning, which can result in higher grades. It can help you develop a better sense of yourself as students and as individuals. They can be shared with friends and family members, and they are used to showcase your achievements when you're applying for a job and or grad school. So they are considered, ePortfolios are considered a high impact practice, or a HIP. So typically as faculty, we always want to make sure in our courses we include high impact practices, and usually those are some way of doing hands-on or some type of experiential learning. So ePortfolios are considered a critical thinking, creative inquiry exercise. And because they're a student-centered activity where you get to choose what artifacts you include, and you're free to reflect on the process of your learning, they do foster engagement and motivation. Some challenges, benefits, and maybe some challenges, right? Do you have time to devote to this? The sooner you start, you can start adding projects, but and so typically freshman, sophomore, that's a good time to start doing this. But if you're a senior and you're like, oh, I should have created ePortfolio, you may really need to think about the time you need to now go back and get all those projects. What do you think may be relevant artifacts? You're empowered to pick what you want to include in your ePortfolio, and sometimes that may be a little difficult to decide which things you think are relevant or which things you think a grad school might be relevant. And then updating and maintaining the site. So every semester, as you have more experiences, you have to remember, oh, I need to put that in my ePortfolio. That would be really relevant. The benefit of this over like Blackboard or Canvas is that typically like after Blackboard, after the semester, you don't always have access to the projects that you created in that course. This goes on forever, so you have access to this and you don't lose access to it like you might in Blackboard or Canvas. So there are the three main things you're going to do: curate your work, share that evidence, and then reflect on your experiences. So what are artifacts and where can they come from? It might be a web page or a website that you created. It could be research. It could be a Word document. Maybe you did a presentation. You might have created a video. Those are all considered artifacts, evidence of your competency, evidence that you learn of your learning. So you can include different formats of your learning, writing samples, creativity and performance, even extracurricular work that you may do. And working on projects as volunteer students. And so the reflection piece. How many of you have done a reflection report or done anything in reflective writing? Journals count, right? So you are reflecting on your experience, and it's only you can write that. Only you can reflect on your experience. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. There can be maybe some guiding questions, but typically you're reflecting on your experience. So it requires you to think deeply and critically and consider how these experiences have impacted you, your plans, and your perspectives. So typically, move this out of the way, go up. Oops. Right, so you are selecting or curating what you're going to include. You're reflecting on it, on your experiences, and then you're publishing it. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do you publish this? How do you post it online? We said it was web-based. And the three things employers look for in ePortfolios: that they are concise and show formulated evidence, that you've emphasized the materials that you want to select for that particular role or position, or even, like I said, even grad school. And then who are you? Who's the person behind the resume? So you can submit a resume, and we'll talk about resumes and CVs, but and you may even write a cover letter. But the ePortfolio really gives the employer or the grad school a real picture of you and what you've done. So you can include that link to it so they can see it.